Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name's StepsBasic, and welcome back to the community show. Anyway, I need to not do that. I woke up with a really bad headache this morning. But I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it through this video. It's going to be great. Anyway, so announcements first. So if you haven't noticed, I put BioShock on the back burner for a bit while I played some indie games this week. And I've been having fun trying to learn how to, well, not learn because I already know how to do it, but working on thumbnails and making them look better. I feel like I'm going to keep my series thumbnails as they are, like Final Fantasies, and try to be more inventive with the other ones, other thumbnails from here on out. And then starting after Final Fantasy, after BioShock, I'm going to start working on just being better, you know? As I think that's part of my reason. But I really like the my friend is a Raven thumbnail. That one just tickled me. Technological news: I got my my graphics card, and I installed it myself, and it works. Good old 2060 RTX 2060. So yay. A bit expensive, but I saved up for it and was able to get it, and now I have the ability to play Doom Eternal. Sweet. But apart from that, I don't really have any more announcements. Moving along in Final Fantasy and backburnering BioShock for now. And when I'm done with Final Fantasy, I'll go back to BioShock. Because, like I said, I wasn't a fan of how I was recording it. But apart from that, that's all my announcements. So on to today's topic, which is, again, perfection in video games. And yes, I know I did this video, but I also hated the video I made. I wouldn't say hated, because I did talk mostly about how I define a perfect game, but I feel like I was a little bit, I don't know, wrong in my choices. Like, I love Legend of the Gaia, don't get me wrong, just like I love Final Fantasy VII, but I don't know, calling Legaia the perfect game had me going back and forth like a million times. Like, I don't know if I'm just crazy or if I'm wrong. So I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I don't want to talk about RPGs, because there's a lot of working parts in an RPG and a lot of room for stuff to go wrong. And just like I said, Final Fantasy VII, my favorite game of all time, still flawed, but still good. So I started thinking again about how I define perfection in video games, because obviously nothing is going to reach perfect pinnacle. It's going to be how it works for what it is, whether or not the flaws that are in the game are game breaking, or if they learn how to use the flaws. And well, basically, the usual stuff, the stuff I said last time regarding how to define perfection from a video game. So I wanted to move away from RPGs, because RPGs are way too complex to really deep dive into. So that leaves a slew of other things to look into, but I wanted to stop and think about what I would consider the best game as far as perfection-wise to meet all the criteria. Not just in RPGs, not just in first-person shooters, not just puzzle platformers, etc., etc., because narrowing it down is a lot harder than making a big old general statement. You get what I'm saying? So I was thinking about it. The boxes. Flaws? Yes. But played into them. Story? Good. But, not always. And I can't even remember all the points I pointed out. Pretty sure that was basically it. How it uses its flaws and how well it works for what it is. And story. So, two games came to mind immediately. And they are newer games. Meaning I'm not talking about PlayStation 2, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 era. I'm talking about 3 and 4 or PC. And the two games that came to mind, the first one was Human Fall Flat. Because there's no real story there, but you always feel engaged. And there are puzzles to solve. And the character's mechanics mask a lot of the flaws. Now, there are certain parts, like if you hit a girder and your foot gets stuck in it, then it's kind of game breaking, but it's hilarious at the same time because you see your character basically melting all over the place. And to me, I feel like Human Fall Flat makes it into the top, perfection of games, because for what it is and for what people expect of it, it always delivers. My daughter and I play this game a lot, a little bit more so lately, but we get in and we play a level and we just goof around and we laugh and we solve the puzzles, and then we get to the end of it and we're just laughing the whole time, making jokes, getting stuck. She's throwing me off cliffs. I'm falling off cliffs. So as far as that is concerned, that one literally ticks all the boxes towards perfection without, messing itself up, without me second guessing myself when I say that. And the second game I thought about was Portal. The only reason that this one didn't immediately come to mind was Portal 2. But thinking about Portal, very short, interesting story, intuitive gameplay, and the portals are just really freaking awesome, And the puzzles are fun, and they're not like overly taxing on the brain, so it's not like you're playing high level, Mensa level brain teasers. So, it's just essentially takes everything. And the reason why Portal 2 kind of hid Portal from me in my brain there was because, it wasn't too long, but it was significantly longer than the first one. But then I started thinking about that too, because even though Portal 2 was longer, it didn't feel like it dragged on too much. I know. I said that it did when I made the video, but I was also sick at the time. And the thing about it is, you're never going to, have a problem in that game. You're going to go through it, you're going to play it, you're going to die, you're going to learn, you're going to become better at each of the puzzles. And then you go back, you play it again, and you're going to know all the puzzles, so you're going to like... That's why Human Fall Flat ranks a little bit higher on it. Now, technically, they're both puzzle platforming games, but, FPS versus third person, or first person versus third person, and etc. And so when it comes to Portal, the thing I don't like about it, the thing that bumps it down a little bit lower, is replayability. Like I said earlier, when it comes to Human Fall Flat, me and my daughter, we have played through each of the levels at least 4 times. And we know exactly what we're supposed to do, except for the two new ones. We haven't played through those yet. And we know exactly what to do, but it doesn't stop the game from being fun. Like with Portal, you come in, you race to the end, and you get the best score. Good for you. You finished the level in 0.2 seconds. Good for you. What's it going to mean for next time? So that was also one of the things that I think I included in perfection with video games that I may have forgotten about, is replayability. Because, like I said, with Final Fantasy VII, I've played that game so many times, I basically know everything about the original game. And now I'm learning about the new one, and it's still so much fun. Legaia, I played through at least 3 times. Legend of Legaia, and it was fun even every time I played it, because it still had a little bit of originality every time I played through. So it was like, it wasn't what is up with my camera here? So it wasn't like I was, no, that's not right. There we go. Center. And so it was a little bit, it had a little bit of originality every time you played through, in that, you could hunt for things, you could learn new things. There was some side stuff that you could find. Final Fantasy VII was very heavy on the side stuff, but that also added a little bit of, refreshment to it. I've said it before, a while back. I don't think I've ever brought this up again, but there's 3 different ways that I like to beat a game. The first time I beat it is to enjoy the story. The second time I beat it, I should say the first time I beat it is just to beat it. I beat it to beat it. And that involves enjoying the story, playing through the game, seeing what it's like. Number 2, I like to beat it for speed, see how fast I can get through the game. And number 3, now I'm no speed runner, so don't think I'm going to go to that. But I actually have a speed run I'm going to be trying to do pretty soon. But then there's beating at number 3, which is for mastery. There have been some games which I beat it the first time and I don't want to play anymore. It's not that I didn't like the game, it's just that what else is there to enjoy from it? And I've got some games that are like an hour long, 50 minutes long, really short games, and I played through them and it's like, okay, what else is there? There's nothing else. And then you have games like Final Fantasy VII, which I maxed out the timer on when I beat it for mastery. And I think even rushing through it, I think I beat it in like 30, 40 hours. And yeah. So that's several hours of my life I dedicated to playing a game I knew so many times. And so yeah, that really heavily influenced my whether or not I liked the game, Portal 2 was one of those games that, or sorry, Portal, not Portal 2. Portal was one of those games that the story was very interesting and I loved playing through, but I did not like playing through on camera. And that's because there's there's a difference between playing and let's playing, Because if you play the game, you're enjoying it, you're having fun with yourself, you don't worry too much. But then you let's play it, and you have to worry about being smart, witty, funny, and entertaining all at the same time, which means you may on occasion miss things. And yeah. So playing back through Portal myself was enjoyable, a lot more enjoyable than the first time. I do want to make a no commentary playthrough of Portal 1 because it's short enough that I could do that, and I'll just make an all in one video and slap that up on the channel for you. I need air. My head is killing me. The medicine's taking effect though. I can feel it like much better up here. But apart from all that, that's all I've really got for you today. I kind of wanted to readdress the perfection thing because I know it's a bit of a touchy subject these days, what makes a good game and whatnot, and what people like and everything. But, even with myself, I didn't feel confident that I answered that question properly. 1 second. I'm going to see if I can't fix this because I am not that crooked. There we go. That's better. I am not that crooked. It's like the camera's like... No, wrong way. There we go. It's like, why do I look so darn crooked in my camera? Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, because, labeling a game perfect, labeling anything perfect is difficult because, there's always a flaw. And to me, perfection doesn't mean flawless. To me, perfection means it uses its flaws really well. Sometimes the flaws will vanish, or you won't see the flaws because of how good everything else works. And sometimes the flaws will be a part of the game, which is like the human fall flat thing. The mechanics of using your characters is very flawed because they're floppy. I Am Bread was another example of that, but I hate I Am Bread, so yeah. But anyway, that's it for me for today. Thank you all so much for joining me for this rambly episode of Headachehness. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, please go and poke that like button for me. If you'd like to see more from me, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And of course, as always, you're more than welcome to comment in the comment section down below. And I will go back to you as soon as I can. Oh, and I can if I can. You know all that jazz. And tune in next time as we talk about another topic at another time. And until then, good night.